back. Sorry about all that. I think with all the messing around with our phone, with the phone, trying to get it to do this, we hit the audio button off. So let me know if you can now hear me. And we will start over. Or let me know if you guys got this one and how to do that, the cordless easy clip LI. We got audio?
You have audio.
Awesome, thanks. So we started with, I'm Diane Betelak. I am here with the Doggington Post and the Andis Grooming Company, or the Andis Company. We're talking about clipper and blade maintenance and how to keep your clippers and your blades working longer and your blades staying sharper and all that good stuff. So we started with the adjustable blade home clipper. This is just for little touch-ups at home. You want to do a little cleanup, just to prolong your groom between professional grooming. And it's really just a matter of keeping your blade clean, using your brush to keep all the little hairs out, making sure your teeth are lined up evenly. If they're not, you can loosen the two screws, adjust the back blade, the comb part of the blade, tighten them back up once you've got it where it is, and putting oil on your blade. It's called the five-point oiling system. You're going to put oil on this end of the teeth, on this end of the teeth, in the middle of the teeth, and you will see in the back of the blade where the metal rails rub together. You're going to put oil there, and you're going to put oil on the other side. You can do it while the clipper is running, or you can do it and then turn it on afterwards. We're just going to turn it on, let the clipper distribute the oil, and that's basically it for these little adjustable blade clippers. Now we're going to get on to our different detachable blade clippers. There's several different models. We have the Endurance, which is a brushless clipper. We have the Pulse cordless, Pulse ZR cordless. We have the Excel 5-speed, and we have the AG2 Ultra Edge 2-speed. And I also have, this is an older model. You can still get them. It doesn't, I brought this one out because it doesn't have the pop-off cap, so that I wanted to show you how you can get inside these clippers that don't have the pop-off caps. These two and these two have the same pop-off caps, for the most part. For these, you just sort of pinch and slide this forward, and that allows you access to your blade drive so that you can change it. You're going to clean out all the hair, same as when you do your other ones. This one comes off the same way. These, the cap pops off. It's called a drive cap. And same thing, you're just going to go in and you're just going to clean the hair out. So ways to know when your drive is this little plastic piece that's in here. You'll see it's got some webbing. That is what pushes the blade back and forth. That fits in this little part of your blade. So this black plastic piece fits in here, pushes it back and forth. It's pretty much the only part that really is going to wear out often, depending on how often you use your clippers. And you can tell when it's starting to wear, your clippers get suddenly very noisy, and you think to yourself, why is my clipper suddenly so noisy? It was so quiet. It's time to change your drive. Or you're using your blades and you know they're sharp and they're not cutting. It's time to change this drive. You're going to get one in the box with the new, you get a spare in the box with the new clippers. It usually comes like this. It's all kind of packaged in there. Comes with directions on how to change it. You can purchase them separately. You can get them from the Andis company or from your favorite distributor. So they come like this, again, little directions. In order to change it, it's very easy. You're going to go in, you're going to see these two little screws. You're just going to unscrew them. Do it over a table with a towel, because the new drives do not come with a set of screws. Same part on every model of detachable. See, they go flying. Detachable blades, clippers. So you don't have to worry about what parts there are. And you're just going to take your little screwdriver and pop it up behind here. And it'll slide right out. And there's your old piece. You can just dispose of that. You're going to go in again and clean all the hair out that might have gotten trapped under there. As much as you can. You're going to open up the new one. They come pre-greased. You never have to worry about greasing your clippers. Now you want to make sure you're getting it in the right way, because if you put it in backwards, it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. You're going to see the inside above the place where the screws go, there's two little black posts. And you have to look carefully because they sort of blend in, it's all black. And the way the drive is built, you'll see, there's the larger hole is where the screws go. The smaller hole above it is where you're going to fit into the posts. So you want to make sure, I always see the way the drive is facing. It's facing this way. It fits up into where the hinge is. There's also, where I get it in there, there's also two little pieces of clear plastic or white plastic underneath. And in here, there's a place for them to fit. Sounds complicated, but it really isn't. You're going to put it in there. You're going to look for those little where they're going to fit, and you just pop it in. You can just use some thumb pressure. It goes right in. You put the screws back in. Magnetic screwdrivers are very helpful. I am unfortunately not using one. So I just sort of hold the screw in the end and it's done. The only other part you need to worry about on your detachable blade clippers is the hinge. So when you're checking, this isn't going to need changing as often as your drive. You're going to pop it down, your thumbnail underneath, and get any kind of wiggle room. It's time to change that hinge. So you can buy the hinges separate. They come all one piece like this, but when they come shipped, they may come in two pieces. So you have to know how to put them back together. So you'll see on the black part, which is the lock, there's two little tiny holes. And there's two little wires on the bottom of the hinge. And if you try to put the hinge on without putting the lock on, it'll work. But every time you pick up your clipper to use it, you're going to stab yourself with those little wires. So please put them on. So those two little wires fit into these little holes. So you want to make sure it's going with the little hook on top and the rounded part on the bottom facing the back of the hinge. So you just put the two little wires through the holes, and then you just slide it up and it hooks up over the top of the hinge. That part, that little black hook, if you're not careful, that sometimes breaks. That's from not using your release. The release on these is you just push it in. It pushes the hinge up, and that releases your blade. I just pulled it apart. But it's very easy to fix, or very easy to change, I should say. You just unscrew these two, and I'll tell you, a larger flathead Phillips screwdriver is the easiest way to do this, because the non-flatheads tend to strip the screws, and then they're harder to get out. Just gonna unscrew them. Some of the clippers do have spacers. Some of the older ones have little springs. I've actually never taken this hinge off this clipper, so I'm not sure what's going to be under there. Again, you want to do it over a table with a towel, and a light colored towel is usually best. So yeah, see, this one has a space. It's got quite a few spacers. So you just want to remember how the stuff came out so you can put it back in when you put the new hinge in. This one, we're just going to clean the hair off it. And then we're just going to put it back together. So for this particular model, there's this, I'm not sure what you call it, but it's a spacer of sorts. And this fits over the drive, settles down in there, and you can see where the holes line up, where the screws are going to go. Then there's this other spacer, and you'll see where the rounded part is on the top. That fits against the little cam. At least that's what I call it. That's what I thought it was called. That's what part of the motor that spins. That makes it. So that goes up. And you can't really put it in upside down because you've got to make sure your screw holes line up. So, can you see it now up close? So once you get that in, you've got your new hinge. You're just going to hook it over your drive, set it in, and put the screws back in. Which I can't do that way. Everything lines up. And you're just going to screw it back in. Drop your screwdriver. And you want to do this while you're unplugged. And when you're all done, you can plug it back in, turn it on, make sure it's working properly. That's when you'll see if you put your drive in backwards. And so we're done. We just slide our cap back on. We're just going to clean it off a little bit. So these slide in and just sort of snap into place. Sometimes they take a little fussing. In, done. So your pulse-ER is basically the same parts. This just pulls forward, pops off. The other thing for maintenance on your pulse-ER is your battery. So this is a lithium-ion battery. We'll put that back on later. It just slides off. You just push in here and it just slides off. You want to make sure you go in there periodically and just clean out any hair that might get caught up in there. No matter how good they seal, the dog hair tends to get in everywhere. You can also clean your connections. These would be the connectors. It fits down in the charging base. You can go in with a pencil eraser and just wipe these down, or a Q-tip with maybe a little alcohol. Just kind of clean them off. That ensures a good connection. That ensures that your battery is charged when you want to use it. These were the same. It's the same parts, same things. It's just you get to it just a little differently. This just pops off and pops back on. When you have one that doesn't have a drive cap, there's 4 screws. And I believe the MBG models are similar to this. This is why I pulled this out. You're going to take the 4 screws out. You're very, very carefully going to take the lid off because there's a lot of little parts that fall out. One of which is the switch. So you want to make sure that you know where everything goes so that you can put it. And the parts are the same. Your drive, I threw the old drive away. Your drive is going to fit, so you can see the little posts. Your drive is just going to fit right there. And I put it on backwards, see? See how easy it is to put it on backwards? So the drive is just going to fit right there. You're going to put the 2 screws back in. Same hinge, it's just going to fit in here. And then you've figured out where everything goes. You're just going to put it back on, your lid back on, make sure your switch is working, put your 4 screws back in, and you're good to go. So that is basically it for your actual clipper maintenance. I love these clippers. They are just so easy to take care of. And as I said, they will tell you when they need maintenance. They will be noisy. They won't cut properly, and you'll say to yourself, "What's wrong with my clipper?" It's time to change the blade drive. If for some reason you're clipping along and the blades are popping off, your hinge really needs changing. But every time you change your blade drive, just check your hinge, pop it down, check it with your thumb. You're going to need a flathead screwdriver though to pop it back up because they are snug. So the next thing I want to talk about is blade maintenance, because that is essential to keeping them clean and sharp. And the longer you can keep them sharp, you will save in, not only will it save your blades, keep your blades sharper longer, they won't need to be sent out, they're going to keep your clipper parts longer. So, do we have a question? We have a question. So, how often should the clippers be taken apart and cleaned? I oil my blades daily. They're cleaned daily for the grooming salon. If you're just doing your own dog at home, you could just do it after you're all done. And then they're nice and oiled, till the next time. The maintenance, some professional groomers like to change their drives monthly, whether it needs it or not. I personally wait until the clipper is telling me it needs it. So it's just, so the tools, the next question is, oh, how much cool? We're gonna get to the cool care when we're talking about the blades. Where can you find these tools and cleaning supplies? You can find all the clippers on andis.com. That's probably your best place. If you are a professional groomer, you can probably get them at your favorite distributor. There are so many out there, I can't even start to name them. All right, back to blades. My blades are cleaned and oiled daily at the end of the day, and I oil them every time I use my clipper. So let's plug one in so you can see. This happens to be a plug right behind me. Hope it works. It does. So I got the Excel file, favorite clipper, 12 ounces. It's tiny, fits in the hand really nice, and tell me that's not a cute clipper. Look at that little puppy. So what I do is every time I pick my clipper up to use it during the day, I oil my blade. And I do it while it's running. I'm not going to do it while it's running, but I do it while it's running. And I just put a tiny drop of oil on one side. And it's running, so I hold it sideways, and that little tiny drop of oil is going to work its way down. And if I'm doing it every time I pick up my clipper, I'm not having to use so much oil that it's not going to come through and get on the dog. If I haven't done it, and you can tell when you haven't done it because the blades get rusty colored and kind of not so nice looking. So in that case, what we do, when you have a blade that is stuck, this one is not, but let's pretend it is. The end of the day, we're going to do our regular maintenance. We've been a little slack in oiling, let's put it that way. We're gonna take our Blade Care 7-in-1, and right now this is like a lifesaver because it's a disinfectant as well as a coolant, deodorizer, lubricant, cleaner, does everything. So I've got one already open. They're messy when they're not. And you can either pour a little bit into the lid. So you can see it, there's kind of not much in there. You don't need a lot. You can either do it in the lid, you can keep it in a separate Tupperware container, a little plastic dish. That keeps your jar of cleaner clean and your dirty, hairy cleaner in a separate. But if you just use a little, you clean, you dump it out, you turn it on. Let me get a paper towel handy. I keep a paper towel handy. I turn my clipper on, and I just dip it into the solution, just the blade. It's kind of why I like the lid, and if you can see it, see all the little hairs coming out? And this hasn't really been used much. So what it's doing is it's circulating all that cleaner down into the blade. So you pick it up while it's still running and hold it with the paper towel. That allows the excess. So you're doing this at the end of every day. You're cleaning your blades. And you're just going to release it. What you don't want to do is clean and then go like this. Hold it upright. because that allows the solution to come down in. The motors are sealed, but if there's a little crack, that may get a little bit of the cleaner down into the motor, and you don't want to do that. You're going to remove the blade. Then you can put your clipper down. You're going to wipe all the excess oil or excess cleaner off of the blade. And you're going to take another paper towel. And you're going to oil this blade. So it's the end of the day. You're not using it again. So you're going to slide it across. You're going to take your oil, put a tiny drop there, tiny drop there, one in the middle. Slide it the other way. Drop there, slide it back, and then I just make a little package with my paper towel, and I set it aside, and it's ready to go the following morning. So the next day when you come out and it's soaked overnight, the paper towel has absorbed any excess, you're going to take it out. You're ready to go. You're ready to start working. You're going to put it on your clipper. So another way to save your parts, your parts in your clipper, is to always attach your blade while your clipper is running. Because what that does is that has this, your drive is moving back and forth. It fits, if this is not lined up perfectly, it wiggles it in there, and that saves on this having to work extra hard. So you run it while it's on, take it off while it's off. So you're going to put your blade on, and okay, so there's maybe a little extra oil on here, and you don't want it to get on your dog. You can use your 5-in-1 Cool Care. While it's running, again, you're going to spray it. And this works as a coolant too. You could actually hear the motor change when it came up. As a coolant, if you're working and you don't have time to switch out blades, or you don't have the blades, you can use this to cool your blade down. It does a very nice job. It is also a nice disinfectant. It's come in handy a lot here in the grooming salon when we've had the dogs coming in and we've had to shave them before their baths. We can disinfect our tools with this. You're going to wipe off the excess. Now, the problem with the 5-in-1 is people use it, it takes off your oil. So once you've used it, you want to re-oil. So you're going to put it on, you're going to put another 2 tiny drops of oil and let it work its way through. Remember, they're tiny because the whole point is so that the oil isn't getting on your dog. So you should be able to wipe your hand. I'm getting a little bit still, so you're just going to keep wiping it. And it should be good to go. That's how you maintain your blades. If you have one that's been sitting in the drawer, sometimes they get moisture, there's little hairs dry up and get stuck in there, or it's an older blade, you know it's sharp, but it's stuck. You put it on the clipper and it doesn't go. Those I saturate. I put them on the paper towel and I just saturate them with oil. And then I wrap them up and I put them away for a couple days and just let that oil work its way in. So, let's see. What else? There is the ceramic blades. So, ceramic is just glass. The Andis ceramic is made from the highest grade of USA made ceramic, but they're glass. They break very easily. You drop it on the floor, it's gonna break. You can purchase separately just the ceramic piece. And what you'll do is you just take the new piece, you slide this halfway across, you put the new piece, slide it in behind it, and then push it across, pushes the old one out, the new one's in there, you're good to go. A lot of the sharpeners are now sharpening ceramic. You can send it to the Andis company for sharpening. But if you put in a new ceramic, you might want to have the metal part sharpened. So where are we at? I think that might be it. I want to thank you all for visiting us. Do we have any more questions? Oh, I want to thank you all for coming. Thank the Doggington Post for allowing us to do this. Again, I'm Diane Betelak, and I'm here with the Doggington Post and Andis Company.